What? No, Greg's barfing. He barfed on our carpet. I sent him to the kitchen. I'm trying to record. Brandon's going to use this in the intro.
I am.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at Namely 90s or on Instagram and Bluesky at Namely 90s. You can also find the show on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@Namely90s. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/Namely90s, also the 90s, and get signed up for one of those support levels. So we can start to make real talks on FaceTime Tube and share them with you.
You just sprinkled my brain. Namely 90s Patreon. Yeah. Last week we were a bit off our rockers, if I remember correctly.
Well, I was tired and I had eaten too much Jack in the Box. And just as a warning, I'm again too tired and ate too much Jack in the Box.
Yeah, that's interesting. What did you get the same thing from Jack in the Box again? The burger sandwich or the breakfast sandwich burger?
No, I just got tacos and like curly fries.
Classic Jack in the Box meal.
This is just vodka Red Bull.
Looks good. Sounds good. I guess we should get some clerical stuff out of the way. Our friends, Gaz and Dange, as you may or may not have noticed, have been on hiatus for, I don't know, a month or two. And they're coming back on September the 11th.
They took a brief Brexit from podcasting, but they're back now.
Yeah. And they're coming back with a new
Never
format.
Forget.
Pared down. They're kind of getting rid of all their segments, which means, unfortunately for us, Quotely 90s has now been sunsetted, pushed off a cliff, taken out back with the shotgun, put down.
Office Space style, you know?
Yeah.
Darn it. I can't use my small catalog of voices every week. Like,
it was
Andy Deck.
We did around 150 Quotely 90s for them over the last 2 years or so.
That could be a bit for our 5-year special, is various funny voices that we've done. Particularly funny voices. That'd be annoying for you to listen to, though.
Oh yes, it's a cavalcade of different pop culture references for the 90s and now. No, but yeah, just wanted to shout out our, as we say, our brother horsemen in this retro apocalypse, Gaz and Dange. Check out the all new Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show when it returns in September, and yeah.
We can all hear toss them off across the pond. What?
Rip to the max, Quotely 90s. But yeah, what else? What else has been going on this week? It feels like it's been like 2 weeks since we recorded because it's.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Literally.
Sorry to steal your thunder.
Do we already talk about how Joe Rogan doesn't endorse Trump anymore?
No, what?
I said Joe Rogan no longer endorses Donald Trump. He now endorses RFK.
Oh, I thought he had. I thought he didn't endorse RFK. That was like a misunderstanding or something.
Oh, well,
or
was it encouraging.
Was it Trump? Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that encouraging
that's
that Joe Rogan would encourage people to vote for the man with a brain damage from worms?
A vote for RFK is not a vote for Donald Trump.
Fair. I don't know. It's
good that we don't have some like deranged hyper liberal trying to run as a third party.
Was it last week that we talked about his that crazy
thing where he found
bear?
The bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last week. You talked about that.
We were talking about this at Improv today, and it was just like, the story that he told is so fantastical. Like, there's so many elements to it that make no sense. Like, and just like, I could never improvise such an amazing story. And it really hurts me deep down because
you're like, there's missing pieces here.
Like,
there may be
missing pieces of brain matter,
but a lot of connecting information is missing.
Oh, he laid it out. It was, he was going hunting with his friends via falconing. They hunt with falcons. A lady hit a bear cub with her car, and he saw this bear cub on the side of the road and was like, I should put this in the back of my vehicle because I know that in New York I can tag it and then skin it and save the meat to eat raw later and get brainworms, which he has done many times. Then goes to the restaurant in New York City because he was they had a good time hunting and didn't have enough time to go home. And then he was like, oh no, I'm late for the airport. I can't go home and drop this bear cub off. It will be rotted by the time I get back. So I'm just going to put it in the park. They recently just started doing bike lanes in the park at this point in time. And a lot of pedestrians, have been hit by bicyclists. So wouldn't it be funny if we made it look like a bear was hit by a bicyclist or a cyclist? I don't know what part's unclear.
I don't know. It's bizarre.
Anyway, speaking of things that are bizarre, did you hear about 7-Eleven having better food in their convenience stores?
Better food than what? Than whom?
So in Japan, 7-Elevens are like actually places to get good cheap food. Like they'll make these egg sandwiches that are really good, bentos, stuff, to go stuff. And whoever just purchased 7-Eleven has or their new vendor or whatever is like trying to upscale the food in their American locations to kind of mimic that same thing. And it's like they've fallen short from what we're hearing. And instead of having because they're advertising it as, we're bringing Japanese food to 7-Elevens, and they're not. And they're trying to do Japanese quality foods, I guess, but it's still not like anything close to. It's just an American style egg salad sandwich.
Yeah, and the problem is I don't know how to describe the type of clientele that 7-Eleven has.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say one of the groups of people that shops 7-Eleven is white trash.
Yes.
Do they really want Japanese food? One of those little tornado things, which are just taquitos.
And they wanted to have it had been sitting there for a few days to get that nice semi-fermented flavor off of it.
Oh God.
But yeah, apparently that's a big fail of the week. 7-Eleven, new American food distributor, is just as good as its old one.
Why is 7-Eleven so bad in the US? The last time I had to go to one for some bit we were doing, I think it was the Dunkaroos. A shirtless man was vomiting on the sidewalk.
Which is weird because there was one in front of mine doing the same thing. Maybe their employee, maybe that's a mascot for 7-Eleven, like a guerrilla marketing type thing.
all that so we could eat some like jizzy, disgusting
they were so bad.
cookies in a pouch.
I still have some in my my cabinet, and I don't see myself eating it anytime soon.
Truly horrific. I mean, the heyday of the Dunkaroo has long gone.
I don't know how we got this far into the intro without you mentioning you watched Space Jam 2 tonight.
Oh my gosh. Like I could feel in my soul, like cringing deep within my body. Like it was a physical feeling of cringiness watching this movie. You know, they call him King James the entire time. God, that guy's got a big head.
Is LeBron called King James, or is his son called King James?
No.
I thought his son was named King.
No.
Oh. Yeah, no, I watched it once and immediately deleted it from my memory. So
they're like, cameo by Michael Jordan, but it was Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
That was so stupid.
Yes.
And then when Porky Pig does the rap battle, oh my gosh, I almost just fell into a heap on the ground. It was so cringy.
I do. I mentioned like the Rick and Morty cameo when they bring I think they drop off Marvin the Martian or something, or the Tasmanian Devil. And it's just like, yes, because the age range that's watching Space Jam 2, which are, I don't know, children under 10, are definitely watching a adult animated cartoon about like life, death, and
they thought they were going to capture a lot of like the millennial group, like coming back to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, you can't make
Michael
it
Jordan.
Worse.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, like if you make it worse, you're not going to watch it. And also, it was just horrible. I mean, I can't even describe why it was so horrible, other than bad animation, bad writing, bad acting, and
Don Cheadle.
Also, Don Cheadle was nominated for an Oscar, and this is what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm. So boot or reboot Space Jam 2?
Boot all day long.
And that segues us into our first segment tonight. We're doing boot or reboot on a film that neither of us have seen before. Andrew said he didn't know anything about it going into this episode. I know a little bit. The only thing that I really know about it is that Brandon Lee, who is the son of famed martial artist Bruce Lee, was shot and killed during the production of this film from a prop gun, which sounds familiar, right?
I was going to say, was Alec Baldwin on this film as well?
Yep. He was not, but yes, yeah. So, let me give you a little background before we watch this first trailer. The Crow is a 1994 American Gothic superhero film. It's based on the 1989 comic book series. It stars Brandon Lee in his final film role as Eric Draven, a rock musician who is resurrected from the dead to seek vengeance against the gang who murdered him and his fiancée. He was fatally wounded by a prop gun during the filming, and as he had finished most of his scenes, the film was completed through script rewrites, a stunt double, and some digital effects. And it's not. It grossed $94 million on a budget of $23 million, and it's kind of a cult classic, I guess, or a cult. It has a cult following. Than that
Borderlands movie.
Oh yeah, that one tanked hard, and it's led to a successful kind of media franchise, which includes the sequels: The Crow, City of Angels, The Crow, Salvation, and The Crow, Wicked Prayer. The sequels.
And don't forget The Crows Have Eyes 3, The Crowaning.
Yes.
Which is what I immediately thought of when I saw this.
Here's the thing that we're watching. So, are you ready to watch the trailer for The Crow, Andrew?
Yeah, let's do it. The Crow.
Let me just make sure I'm sharing sound, and here we go.
You know what movie that's from? Send us a tweet.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul.
No one believes that.
The dead. But sometimes, just sometimes, the crow could
Was
bring
the
your
last name
soul back.
Draven, as in Raven?
The wrong thing's
There
right.
you go. And it's paused.
Yes. Or buffering?
No.
Or corrupted? There you go. Oh, Roger, you were...
You're all going to die.
Is that gasoline I smell?
I'm sorry, is this the Joker?
Kind of looks like it, right?
Aren't we all?
Except without the good acting.
It's like if the Joker was crossed with Kiss, the band Kiss.
It's super creepy that, like, you're watching a movie in which he was killed.
Right?
And then, to make matters worse, the movie is bad. Like,
And it's
Final
about-
Fantasy, and it's garbage.
Plus, it's about like resurrecting a guy who died in a violent gunshot. Yeah.
Why are the bullets on set?
You know,
Are you actually shooting something? Like, do you need to retain the possibility of shooting a real person with real bullets? Like, or can we just not have the real bullets right there on the set?
right?
It just seems like there should be no way that should happen.
It does seem like that. I agree. And yeah, you know, I don't think there was a fatal shooting on set since then until Alec Baldwin. So, that's good? Question mark.
I think it's wild, though, just to talk about a controversial subject, but like to try to charge the actor who literally has zero responsibility for making sure the gun's not loaded.
True,
He's just the
but
one pointing it.
he was also the producer in that one. So
Right, but there's someone whose job that is. I mean, I guess the charge is involuntary manslaughter, which is kind of technically correct. I mean, it was involuntary and he killed somebody, but still, it just seems like if you're going to really go after someone, you go after the person who was negligent.
right. From what they were saying, that whole film production was negligent and it was run by him. So
Yeah, but
I don't know.
There's someone whose
were
job it was
they
to
charging
not put real bullets.
Were they charging him as the actor or him as like
I don't think it matters.
the runner? Yeah, fair.
Anyway.
So that was The Crow 1994. Now, 30 years later, they're doing a new updated version, which it's a reboot of the Crow film series. Technically, it's the fifth in the franchise, and it's adapting the same storyline as the first movie, the trailer of which we just saw. And it's starring Bill Skarsgård as Eric / the Crow, and his fiance is played by FKA Twigs, which doesn't make sense which doesn't really matter because she dies in the opening. So why? Anyway,
Are there there's 27 Skarsgårds, and I haven't the foggiest idea what any of them look like or what they're in.
I just assume they're all related. I think he's the son of Eric Skarsgård, and he was in Thor as like the crazy professor guy, and he was most recently in Andor as like a really cool character who gives a really badass speech. I don't know. They're good. It seems like the Skarsgårds are good actors as far as I'm aware.
Well, hopefully he makes it through filming.
Yes, the movie is coming out this week.
His tragic final performance. That's what it said in the first trailer. It's like,
true.
Ugh.
It's a little
Creepy.
little much. Yeah. And also it looks like Bradley Cooper, Luke Evans, and Jack Huston and Jason Momoa were all cast as Eric during various points in its development. So
They started entering development in 2008 and released in 2024. That is 26 years. 16 years. Sorry, 16 years. Wow, that's going to be good. A revolving door of lead actors and directors.
Oh,
that's
just
going to
wait.
be great.
Just wait for the 3-minute trailer that I.
3 minutes.
All right, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
What's
Oh,
the
Danny
first thing
Huston's
you
still in
liked
it?
about me?
What's up?
Thought
Is
that you were
Huston
quite
still in it?
brilliantly broken.
Yes, I guess so.
Oh, that's
You
steamy.
feel like my bus.
Oh, wow.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw things.
You.
I shouldn't have seen any of it.
This.
Julie! Julie! Please don't do this!
Okay, so this is,
And then there's the movie for children.
yes. What? Is this Ozzy Osbourne? Oh,
The
God.
land of the dead.
I thought I feel like Korn is on this on this soundtrack. Korn.
It kind of sounds like Ozzy.
Something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest. Until you put the wrong things right.
Gonna have to blur that out.
Of that God.
So it feels like Phil Collins. Not really.
With the drumming and the.
It has a Phil Collins vibe.
Yeah, if Ozzy was Phil Collins.
Is it actually Ozzy?
Enough time to save her.
I don't know. Jeebus.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, this is on ABC Family. Freeform.
Freeform.
And killed you.
Yeah, you did.
We have a
Oh,
problem.
was that a
He came for us.
old school Lamborghini?
First impulse.
The makeup's stupid.
Anger.
Also, just to clarify, he puts the makeup on himself. That's not a part of being resurrected from the dead.
Oh, he just puts it on. Okay.
Yeah. Which makes it worse, in my opinion.
It's love. Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain. You have no idea what hell awaits you.
Okay.
No, I do.
They like to make extra work for you.
How many people have you loved?
That's it. Oh, was that Akon the whole time? I'm on a boat. Yeah, so that was the trailer for the new one, which comes out, I think, this week.
So basically it's a Liam Neeson movie.
A Liam Neeson movie if Liam Neeson was an edgelord resurrected and invincible.
Yeah, but every Liam Neeson movie is like a revenge retribution movie.
Right.
And that's what that was.
Correct. But
With
also
abs.
with abs and like immortality. I think the immortality is the key feature of The Crow. So yeah.
Although it makes you look a little bit less like heroic if your superpower is not being able to die. Like
True. And you're not saving
superpower is-
anyone, you're just on a path of vengeance.
And you either are invincible or aren't.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like if you're invincible except for the one thing that kills you, then you're not invincible.
Okay, he's immortal, he's not invincible. So
I see.
Yeah, so he can be injured, but it heals. At least that's how the first one worked. Quick healing. He's like Wolverine. He's like the Wolverine. Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna now have to make the difficult choice of boot or reboot. Crow to your head.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of it's an unfair advantage because that trailer is so long. We essentially watched like a third of the movie.
True.
No, I've got to go with the new one personally.
And reasoning.
It looks more entertaining and less like
Cheesy,
cringy and cheesy.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
it is cringy because it's obviously fake, but like of course it's fake because it's not real.
Long hair Crow or short hair Crow? This is a real question.
Russell Crowe.
Okay, all right.
No, I think I like the trailer for the newer one better. Very graphic though.
Very graphic. That was not the Red Band trailer. That was just the regular trailer.
I feel like in that one scene, I wanted to hear the Counter-Strike. I forget which mod it was. It was like Quake mod or something where it was like headshot.
Yeah. Headshot.
Force mod, or I don't know.
Double tap.
Those mods. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Kill streak. So I did the Namely 90s Minute on The Crow this week, so I've kind of watched the whole thing, more or less. And I like Brandon Lee since we share a name. This, yeah. I don't know. The new one looks too edgelord, so I might
a bit much.
I might have to go with the 1994 one just because. You
contrarian, you.
Yeah, I mean, he in the new one, that shotgun to the head, dang, that was a little much.
Ooh, that was intense, man.
A little too much blood spray, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of overdid it.
Yeah.
But that's what movies are about, man.
I guess.
Oh, I put my glasses on.
To reflect your screen.
I feel like the problem is now that you can say the F word on FX after 9 p.m.,
mm-hmm.
Like movies have to push the envelope more.
True.
Like, wasn't there a recent movie that effectively had pornography in it?
Are you referring to Alien Romulus?
Maybe.
Because people keep saying that, and then I keep searching for any information on it and cannot find anything.
Information on it.
But then I keep seeing actress whatever says her chest burster scene is the most graphic you'll see in the Alien franchise. Yeah. All right.
Well, there you have it. So now let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of the release of the latest adaptation of The Crow, we're looking back at the original movie adaptation, The Crow. The Crow is a 1994 gothic superhero film starring Johnny Murata from Showdown in Little Tokyo, the fourth Ghostbuster, Ernie Hudson, and Miss May Lee East from Wild Wild West. The story starts on Devil's Night in a crime-ravaged Detroit when a young woman is essayed and seriously wounded while her rock musician fiancé is shot and thrown to his death from the window of their loft apartment, and the woman dies on the way to the hospital. Then narration kicks in with the legend of the Crow that carries souls to the land of the dead, but if someone dies in tragic circumstances, the Crow can resurrect them to set things right. So a year later, at their gravesite, they're visited by a young girl they looked after, and a crow who taps on Eric's grave and resurrects him. He goes back to his apartment, disoriented, and has flashbacks of the murders, and remembers that they were targeted because of a crime lord who was forcing evictions in their apartment, which they were protesting. He also realizes any injuries he gets are immediately healed, so he puts on his best Kiss face paint and goes to fight some crime with the crow at his side. The crow leads Eric to one of his murderers, and he stabs him to death, then recovers his fiance's engagement ring from a pawn shop and blows it up. He finds another one of his killers doing drugs with the strung-out, estranged mother of the young girl they looked after, and gives the killer an OD while purging the drugs from the mother and telling her to go take care of her child. He explodes the next to last of the thugs that killed him and sets his sight on the final one, who's with the gang leader's lover and half-sister because Ick, and the gang leader's right-hand man, all discussing how they're going to burn Detroit down on Devil's Night. Eric kills the final thug and a gunfight erupts, while the top criminals leave and the half-sister lover deduces that the crow is giving him powers. Eric, satisfied with his vengeance on the low-level thugs that killed him, gives the engagement ring to the girl and returns returns to his grave. So the evil trio abducts the girl and takes her to an abandoned church, and Eric gets alerted to this by the crow. So he heads to the church, but gets ambushed and the crow is wounded, leaving Eric vulnerable to attacks now. The half-sister lover tries to steal the crow's power, but it claws her eyes out and causes her to fall to her death from the bell tower. The gang leader badly wounds Eric, but Eric puts all the girl's pain into the gang leader, which makes him unstable and then falls to his death, impaled on a gargoyle. Eric returns to his grave and is greeted by his fiance's ghost to lead him back to the afterlife. Sometime later, the girl visits the graves again, and the crow gifts the ring back to her. And that's The Crow in a Namely 90s minute. More or less.
And now, back to the show.
All right, Andrew. I have a surprise quiz for you on, it was just the Olympics, and we have McDonald's collector cups are back. So I was thinking we should do a quiz about McDonald's. Can we get through this? McDonald's opening around the world.
I hate you.
I'm actually kidding. That's a callback to one of the first quizzes we did that I made. What was it? It was like you had to guess
which decade, which McDonald's is built in various countries in the world.
That was it.
That was nightmarish. I think I got like a negative score.
McDonald's collector's cups are back. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I remember being like collector's cups were kind of a big thing in the 90s. It might have been bigger in the 80s, and they were just dumb ways to get you to come in and buy fast food from certain restaurants, mostly McDonald's. They had like the Disney World collector's cups. There was the Jurassic Park collector's cups. There were Batman collector cups. But yeah, McDonald's has a new set out. They used to be glass, by the way. These used to be like something that you would actually consider drinking out of once upon a time.
PFAS and forever chemicals and BPA and estrogen.
Exactly.
Melamine. They're going to kill you. Because the McDonald's food isn't going to already kill you.
True. But yeah, there's 6 new cups. Featuring some inspired by some McDonald's history. One of them has like Beanie Babies on it. Another one has Shrek, which I know came out in 2000. The Coca-Cola Bears. There's one with all the like Grimace stuff from the past to the recent times. Barbies, which this one specifically says 1999 on it. And then Hello Kitty. There's supposed to be a Jurassic Park one too. I don't see the Jurassic Park inspired parts, but who knows? So you didn't have collector cups when you were.
We did not. My parents did not go to McDonald's.
Or I feel like Burger King did something like that too.
We always went to the Burger King by the skate deck in Everett on, what is that road?
Bothell Everett?
524.
Oh, you mean the
where Bothell Everett Highway turns, it goes down to the Everett Mall.
Yeah. That's the Burger King we go to too. I got those Pokemon gold plated cards from there. Well, let's see if there's some Burger King collector cups. There are.
I need to know what this road is called.
They did the Disney. In 1994, Burger King did Disney Cups, featuring 8 different Disney movies, including The Jungle Book, Dumbo, Peter Pan, Aladdin, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, Pinocchio, and The Lion King.
It was 19th Avenue.
19th Avenue.
It leads into 527. Okay, I feel better. I haven't lived here long. I lived away from here long enough and haven't lived here long enough now to actually remember the roads.
Yeah, I just remember it as the back road to get over to that part of Everett.
Bummer, the skate deck is gone.
Yeah, that closed over a decade
ago. And the Alfies.
Less of a bummer. What about the Sherry's? That was right there. Or was that Alfies?
And actually, they actually it knocked down the McDonald's by the Alfie's and made a storage place.
I don't remember the McDonald's there.
It was built later.
Okay.
He was there for a short time.
But not a bad time. Wait. Anyway, collector's cups were a thing. I remember them being bigger during the 90s because they were actually made of glass. These new ones are made of plastic, which kind of sucks. And now you have to, you would buy them with a collector's meal, or I think it used to be you just pay extra money to get these glasses. And now you have to get a blind, it's like a blind grab bag. And people are like super pissed off because the McDonald's staff are just like opening one box at a time and giving. If people order like multiple of these collector's meals through one go, they're all getting the same glass instead of different random glasses because they're
collector culture is so annoying. I'm sorry, I'm going to alienate a bunch of people, but like, I try to get rid of stuff unsuccessfully. I don't want more crap.
True.
And it's from McDonald's. Like,
this one's functional. You can drink out of it. They have cool things on it. Like Grimace being a macchiato or something.
Why is he named after the face that you make when you get a prostate exam? Like, I don't understand. This is Grimace. This is Half Smile. This is
Smirky.
Smirky, yeah. Like, why is it named after a facial expression?
That's a good question that I don't have the answer to. They were a bunch of like, was it HR Puffin stuff type creations? It's in the 70s, lots of drugs, puppets, that sort of stuff, and then good old McDonald's.
Yeah, I saw some video clip from. Oh, it was the guy who like created the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Oh,
There's like this documentary going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he owned this blimp company, and there was a McDonald's blimp. And at one of the openings, there was like a live action Ronald McDonald. He was the scariest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
I mean, if you look at like old school live action Ronald McDonald, like pre 90s, pre our time.
This was like early 90s. It was scary.
Oh, was it early 90s? Because I feel like it ruined like classic Ronald McDonald for McDonald's.
I think sick kids are staying in a Ronald McDonald house next to the hospital.
Yep.
Having nightmares about a clown.
Just coming in with his red balloon at night, staring.
And they're just trying to have cancer treatment, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm. But this isn't the first time McDonald's brought back some nostalgia bait for people our age. In 2022,
the Mulan dipping sauce.
Yeah, the Szechuan sauce. In 22 and 23, they brought back the Boo Buckets, which were the Happy Meal Halloween pails that you can get for kids. And that had people our age rushing out to a McDonald's and buying up all the Happy Meals for plastic buckets that look like happy ghosts and pumpkins. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you're into whatever that is, more power to you. I don't know. Just stop buying all the Pokemon cards for the kids' Happy Meal. They don't want this stupid Incredibles toy.
No, that's true. That's true. And the toys are so cheap now.
Mm-hmm.
They were cheap then, but now they're just like nothing.
There's like no thought put into them. Yeah. So that's all I really had for the closing segment for this episode.
All right. I don't even know how long we've been recording.
About 37 minutes without the break.
Oh, we can have a shorter episode, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this ride today on a boot or reboot on the Crow. If you'd like, that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Instagram, Bluesky, and YouTube at Namely 90s with 90s. Tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/namely90s, also with 90s. And finally, you can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, McNuggy Buddies. What were they called? You said it earlier.
Mildly offensive nugget buddies.
Yes, Pocket Cast, Castbox, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcast from. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.